Roberto Sanchez got involved in Scientology when he was 14 years old in Mexico, and he became dedicated to Scientology, L. Ron Hubbard, and his technology. He became a highly trained Scientology auditor, and he ran a mission in Mexico for 15 years. He finally left in 2009 after he heard about the different abuses and mismanagement that was going on by David Miscavige, and he left Scientology at that time. Since then, he's continued his work in helping people. This is our first interview with Roberto. He's been a longtime member of our channel, and we think you're going to find this interesting and hopefully entertaining. Stay tuned for Roberto. Welcome everyone to our channel, Scientology Peeling the Onion. My name is Mark Fisher, and I'm here with my co-host, Janis Gillham Grady. How you doing today, Janis?
Good, Mark. Good day, everybody, and welcome to Scientology Peeling the Onion. And we've been doing this going on 3 years, Mark?
No, it's been it's been almost 3 years. It'll be 3 years in April.
Almost 3 years. Yeah,
we've been doing quite a bit. But we actually have this guest that we have today. He's actually not only a guest, but he's actually been a loyal viewer to our channel, and he was like a member of our channel as well. One of our best members. Yeah. Yeah,
and one of our original viewers from nearly 3 years ago. But 2 years ago, I was in Barcelona, Spain, and on this date is when I actually personally got to meet him. So it's fun now that we're going to be interviewing him and finding out all his Scientology experience. And he was never Sea Org, but he has definitely a long history in Scientology. So that's going to be fun to interview him.
That's right. So without further ado, here is Roberto Sanchez. Hola, Roberto. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm fine. Excellent. Here, a little bit of cold in Barcelona, but we good.
That's good. Yeah. How did you find our channel originally? Did you just search the internet, or what happened?
No. I mean, it's I have been I have been involved with Scientology for decades, and I know the history of everybody, all the big dogs, all the big people in Scientology, since way more before the Peeling the Onion channel. I mean, I knew who were you, Janis, Dan Kuhn, Marty Radburn, Mike Grinder, everybody, because when I was on the staff, when I was auditor, executive director of a mission in Mexico, I was following you all of the big guys. So I knew in advance. So when you opened the channel for me, was it's Janis there, it's Mark there. I knew. So it was just following you naturally.
That's great. And then cool. Janis, here, this is you guys 2 years ago, right?
Yeah. Exactly. 2 years ago in Barcelona.
Yeah. Good times.
Yeah.
And then this is your whole group, right?
Yeah, this is the group that I did the cruise with, and we got an Airbnb in Barcelona for a couple of nights, and Roberto came over and joined us.
Exactly.
That's
great.
It
was really fun.
That's great. Well, Roberto, why don't you tell everybody how you got involved in Scientology and your background and as an auditor? You've been an auditor for years and all that. Why don't you go ahead and tell everybody about that?
Yeah, and I didn't audit. I was not a SEOR member, but I did audit a lot of SEOR members, a lot of them in LATAM, in the CLO of LATAM. I was maybe the go-to auditor of CLO.
LATAM means Latin America.
Exactly.
Latin America. Yeah, LATAM.
Yeah, it's Latin America.
Latin America, yeah.
Because it was a CLO and a follow for all Latin American countries, from Mexico all the way down.
Yeah, so it was a continental liaison office for LATAM.
Exactly. So I apologize in advance because English is not my mother tongue. So Please be patient. The public listening to this recording is not my mother tongue, so just be a little
That's okay.
bit patient.
It's okay
No,
because
it's
we have
good.
to explain Scientology words all the time and abbreviations because we have a third language, which was Scientology, right?
Exactly. That's the number 3 language. Exactly. So yeah, I was involved with Scientology when I was 14 years old. I was born in 1976. And in 1990, my bigger brother, my older brother, was reading a lot of books, LRH books, Dianetics, and a lot of basic books. And he has also this little book called Child Dianetics. I don't know if you remember. It was just Child
Yes.
Dianetics. And I was 14 years old, so he started like auditing me. And 1 year after, he went to the Sea Org straight. He did some basic courses in Mexico, in a mission in Mexico, Leon Mission in Mexico. And he was offered a position in the Sea Org, and he said yes. He went to the Sea Org. He was the Continental Finance Inspector there, and he was all the time pushing me. You need to be inside this. You need to go into this. So when I have 18 years old in 1994, I did my student hat. I paid for my course. I was working. I paid for the course. And then I have like the decision, should I go to university and do a career on university, or should I go and do a auditor career? And I decided that I wanted to help. I was always, since I was very young, I have a strong desire for helping people. So actually, I didn't have any ruin. I didn't have anything like personally that I want to handle with Scientology, nothing. But it was just a strong desire to help. And my brother, as all the time encouraging me, this is the way to help. This is the way you can help become an auditor. So I did. I joined the staff. And from 1995 to 2005, I was the ED of the executive director of the mission in Leon. And it was like 3 years, like the executive director. I was doing conferences, I was doing lectures, I was doing all the basic services, just bringing people into Scientology. And then I joined the technical training corps. That means persons that go to study full time to a bigger organization to become auditors. So I was 2.5 years training from the student hat all the way up to class 4 auditor internship, class 5 auditor internship, class 5 graduate auditor internship, purification in charge, the internship, the purification rundown CS internship. So ethics courses, management courses, a lot of stuff. And when I finished all my training, then I went back to the mission in Leon, and I did another 5 years as a staff member. You know, you renew your contract because you finish your training, you do another 5 years. So that was my story until 2005, from 19 years old to 29 years old. Anyway, so I'm just showing here my certificates. That's a class 5 graduate auditor. You can see the golden seal there. It's after the internship. They put this seal there. And this is the purification rundown case supervisor course, also with a golden seal there. That's the internship. I went to the free winds also, the ability course. I did that one there. I'm there on the free winds. You can see inside the free winds.
Janis knows that boat well.
Oh yeah,
yes,
I know. She was the one that built it practically.
Yes.
I know.
And her husband bought it.
Exactly. That's amazing. That's an amazing story. Anyway, I was there doing some courses. You can see I'm there very, very young, long time ago. And that's me when I was back into the mission. When I came back to the mission, and you can see there, all this is the technical volumes there, all this. And up here, you can see the admin and the management series.
Right.
So that was my auditing room. But in that time, when I have like around 23, 25, 26 years, it was doing everything at once in the mission. Ethics officer, executive director, auditor. I was not the course supervisor because we have another staff members and they were doing the course.
How big was the mission then? Did you have a lot of public?
I mean, we have a fair amount of public. We have like 40, 45 persons like all the time doing courses and a lot of intro services. But I mean, the long timers, it was like 45, 50. So it was like a community, let's say, not a huge one, but it was a good community. So that was there. And you can see there, that's an auditor's code there in my auditing room. That's the auditor's code. I'm there. And another picture with the emitter there. That's my daughter there. I was very young. You can see again here the auditor's code there, a LRH calendar there on the wall. And this is more certificates, the drug rundown auditor, happiness rundown. And you can see the in charge of purification. But take a look at the certificates, the quality. I mean, it's just gross. It's terrible. But that was the type of certificate in the Continental org. It was called Instituto Tecnológico de Dianética, ITD. So that's the biggest organization in LATAM, is the biggest one. So you can see here, it says ITD Continental org. It says there.
Right.
And look at my certificate in charge, like the quality. I mean, it was terrible, but that's what they gave us. Look, my certificate for net auditor. I mean, Jesus Christ, can you believe it? That was a quality.
I've never seen him that bad.
yeah. I mean, it's gross. I finished my net auditor course and they gave me that, and I was like, what? Are you kidding me? I mean, it was super hard for me, and you're giving me this. Okay, anyway, so the CS, the case supervisor of the purification rundown there, and this is just a lot of commendations from different persons when I was there. Commendations, LRH PPRO, that means the Public Personal Relations Officer for Ronald Hubbard when we were doing campaigns for Ronald Hubbard. High commendations, more commendations, doing auditors. I like a lot to auditors, to train them. You remember this, we're talking about the age of the golden age of tech. We're talking about that timeline, okay? And I remember I was the first auditor in LATAM to finish a full training up to grad 5 auditor and finish the internship. I was the first one on the golden age of tech evolution because nobody was graduating. I mean, it was really, really hard. You know, they video record your sessions and it needs to be flawless. So yeah, it was like this kind of timeline there.
Let me ask you a question about that really quick, Roberto. Were you trained as an auditor before the golden age of tech too? Okay, so your only training then was on the golden age of tech. The reason I bring this up is because one of the big changes of the golden age of tech was the definition of a floating needle and then phenomena. Yeah. And I know a lot of old time auditors and all that, boy, oh boy, they think Miscavige really I don't want to get deep into this, but basically I thought that's a major change in the tech. So I just was wondering if you were ever trained on the earlier tech.
I have a lot of memories about that, what that you're saying. I remember the old timers. Yeah. I was young. I was very young. I was new. I was going fast in my courses. I was doing, I think, a very good job as an auditor in the internships. But I remember what you're saying. I remember the old timers, people that has been in Scientology for 10, 20, 25 years before the golden age of tech, being auditors, and they were really upset about a lot of things. And for me, it was like, I don't get it. For me, I mean, it was like, I don't get it. It's not supposed that this is like great, the golden age of tech. So yeah, it was issues there, but everybody, of course, got like silence, you know, nobody wants to be in ethics, having ethics handlings because opinions and all this kind of stuff. So
I understand. Like I said, we don't need to go deep into it, but I figured as much. I just wanted to know if you had an earlier training in it, and then because people who had earlier training in it and then had to do the golden age of tech, they disagreed with the changes, you know, and that was the problem.
There's many that left because of that.
Yeah. I saw a little bit of that. So anyway, I'm just gonna go fast with this. So more commendations, more about this. So I'm just letting you know that this is from the IIS. Just letting you know, I mean, when I was inside the staff as an auditor, I was trying to be like very, very productive. And then when I finished, when I went out of the staff, I was like very into business. That's my name there, and this is the newspaper of the part of the country where I was living in Mexico, and I was a writer for business articles there in the newspapers. This is a philosophy and artist organizations that I was part of, also recognitions, and this was all this kind of stuff was more courses that I did after I was declared, because I denounced publicly what Miscavige was doing when Marty Radburn came out and he publicly did all this evolution. I went out also, and a lot of people, we were like complaining about what was happening, and we all were declared. So that's the other part. I have 29 years when that happened. You remember it was 2009. I don't know if you remember when Marty came out. So just carry on doing things that I was thinking that were good for the people, good for improving society, business. That's my photo there in the newspaper. More articles, but I want to show this. I want to show you. This is jails in Mexico, and you can see me here in blue giving lectures like betterment, personal betterment lectures to women that were in the jails in Mexico. You can see there again. My hair was really long. And
did you do like a Criminon program, or you did your own program using Scientology tech?
No. It was just like a pro helping kind of vibe.
Okay.
Not necessarily narconon related. It was just good vibes, trying to help, and that was it. So you can see it's different groups. This is a men's group, and they are separated from the women's, as you can see. So you can see, I mean, it was all the time like just trying to help. And then this is very recent. I have a Mahabharata channel also, describing this ancient book, and I was doing some courses in Harvard also, and in Oxford, just to trying to be good and productive with these subjects also. And this is politics forum in Mexico. I was invited also. So anyway, just letting you know. And this is I'm ending with this one. This is when all these people went out. You remember all these guys? I mean, it's Ken there, Karen, Debbie was spoken about everything that was going on.
Yeah, we see Steve Hall, we see Sinar Carmen.
Dan Kuhn.
Dan Kuhn.
Sylvia Quesada, Hiro Kimoto. Here his wife is there. So all these guys. So anyway, we were in that kind of vibe, going out of Scientology and just publicly denouncing what was going on. And that's it. I just wanted to show you a few photos about me and those good times.
Well, let me ask you. So 2005 is when your contract was up at the mission, and so then you were still a Scientologist after that, but you were out doing. Is that when you were doing these lectures to the prisons, the jails, or is that much later?
Exactly. Some years before, during, and a little bit after. So from 2005 and 2009, the internet goes crazy, and a lot of information came out. So I was just reading all this stuff. And I knew, because I was a staff member, I was trained, I knew how to distinguish true from false stuff. So I was like, okay, I didn't sign for this. I didn't sign for people being beaten, CR members. I always felt a lot of respect for CR members. I was auditor of a person that was in the room with Lisa McPherson. When Lisa McPherson died, one of the persons being there, the CMO area of LATAM, gave me this person, and they told me, you need to put it online, you need to audit her, you need to make sure she's like flawless, because she's going to testify in USA about Lisa McPherson. So it's your responsibility. She's going to be like with very good indicators. So we went into
Yeah,
session
well, just
and
hold on. Let me just for our viewers out there who don't know who Lisa McPherson is. She was a Scientologist who basically went, for easy terms, she basically went crazy, took all of her clothes off in the middle of the street in Clearwater and asked for help, was taken to the hospital. Scientology went and got her and brought her back to the Fort Harrison Hotel. And then she was locked up in a room in the Fort Harrison Hotel to do what's called the introspection rundown. And she died under their care. And then, of course, Scientology was sued. Miscavige was personally involved with CSing some of the folders and stuff. And he also was going to be criminally charged. Anyway, it's a long story, but that's who Lisa McPherson is. Go ahead.
yeah, I'm just trying to say, I mean, I was in charge of a lot of these kind of cases. Senior members of CMO go with Roberto. Roberto is going to audit them. Senior HCO, that's the Hubbard Communications area of the CR. So I'm trying to say, I was like always trying to help these persons.
Where were you? Were you in Clearwater at Flag then, or were you doing this in Mexico?
No, the Continental Organization there in Mexico City, and we're talking about the Messengers org in Latin America. You know,
I see. Okay.
In that area, so they have the team, and when there were some problems, I was like the go-to auditor. So yeah, it was good times, and I gained a lot of knowledge of what was going on. I felt a lot of respect for CR members, and for me, realizing through internet they were being mistreated, punished, for me was like, that's it, that's enough. I don't want to have anything to do with it.
Now you weren't as a Scientologist, you weren't supposed to be looking at this stuff on the internet, right?
Exactly, but I didn't care. I mean,
no, I'm just joking. I'm just telling people, no, you're not supposed to do that. But
I got it. I got it. But at the same time, I mean, I was never a person that was like easy to follow orders. You know, when CR members came sometimes to the mission, they want to like give me this hard kind of treatment. They found out. They found out who was the boss.
Yeah, you seem like a very curious person. Like you want to know information. You want to learn about everything, just based on your whole track record that you just went over. You're always trying to learn stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and also it was like a release for me, because it was like when you are a Scientologist and you are inside all the time, you are like feeling bad because you're being criticized all the time, criticized. So it was like, why? And from 2005 to 2009, when all this information came out, it was like, okay, I finally got it. I understand now why the people is complaining, why the people is upset, why the people is saying all this kind of stuff. So it was like it was very rough time for me, because in one side, I was an auditor, a natural auditor. It was very easy for me to hear people, to listen to people with care, with attention, with love, and make them feel happy inside or even outside session, not only inside session. Right. I can be talking with just two-way communication, you know, back and forth, and the person went like with good indicators, went happy, better, and it's just the magic of the cycle of communication. There's a lot of reference about that. So for me, it was like, okay, this is amazing. If this is applied properly, the auditing is amazing. But on the other hand, it was all these terrible situations, grave accusations against LRH, C organization, David Miscavige, and it was like, this is not right. These two things together, you know, it's not right. So that's what I went public in Marty Radbon's blog, and everybody was naming me the Mexican amigo. I was the Mexican amigo back in
Marty Rathbun's blog. That was at 2009, 2010. When was
2009, 2010, exactly. So,
yeah, when you were working with the CLO, did you ever meet Darius Wilhare?
It was once here in Latin America. He was doing like some kind of project here. So yes, I meet him, but I was not like close nearby him, because I was not a CR member, but I was in charge of the auditing of a lot of CR members in Latin America. But yes, I know who you're
Right.
talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, I bring it up because he was offloaded and sent there despite his parents being, Greg Wilhare, the inspector general, and then while he was down there, he was in a car accident and basically died and came back to life, and he just wasn't handled properly, and that's why I was wondering if you knew him.
Yeah, no. I didn't met him like that close. I knew he was around, but he was not like super close, because at the same time, all this happening, I have to audit public paid
Right.
persons in my
Yes.
internship, and then I came back to the mission, and then audit paid people from the mission, run as executive director, do public relations, everything at the same time. I was a CA, the case supervisor for the Purif, so the Purif was being delivered on the mission. So it was like running, doing a lot of stuff at the same time. But when I finished my contract, I realized all this kind of stuff. So yeah, for me I went public, and I immediately was declared. Immediately declared. They never gave me my yellow paper. I'm still waiting for my yellow paper still. But
I have mine.
Oh, okay, good for you. At least you have that. I don't.
I have mine too. I have mine too.
They never gave it to me. So if it's not written, it's not true.
That's
so I am
what
not
L. Ron Hubbard says. That's what L. Ron Hubbard
I'm
says.
not an
If it isn't written, it isn't true.
Exactly. So the point being, I was like completely feeling like bad about all this stuff, and they did a very hard death agent handling with me. Almost all my friends, not all of them, almost all of my friends, almost all my family, not all my family, because some of them decided, I'm gonna stand with you, Roberto, no matter what. For me, you are first before Scientology. And
Right.
they didn't get a SP declaration, but they were like, just cancel it. Any you cannot do any more courses with us. But I was the SP, so it was rough times. You need to start your life from zero, because everybody is Scientologist.
Right.
Everybody.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
So imagine me, 33 years old, with two little daughters. My two little daughters. That's my picture right there. Two little daughters.
Yeah.
Starting from zero. I mean, I can speak like nothing right now about it, but in those times it was tears and tears and tears daily. It was a lot of pain. It was frustration. It was sadness, unbelievable sadness, because you feel like betrayed, because it's like, I signed here to do a better world, not to cover all this mess that is going on around
Right.
here. So yeah, that's kind of the story.
But you're saying exactly what happened to Janis and I, in terms of like, we signed up to help people, and then when we noticed that Miscavige for us at first was like crazy, out the door, you know what I mean? And we discovered it much earlier, obviously, because I worked for him, and Janis knew him and worked for him and all that. So the public never found out until much later, in terms of what was going on with him.
Exactly. And for me, I was feeling the pain of a lot of people. For example, I don't know if you remember Jeff Hawkins. That's the name, Jeff Hawkins?
Yes, sure. Jeff Hawkins.
He wrote a book, remember? Yeah. So I read the whole book. And for me, it was literally tears. When I was reading the book of Jeff, it was like tears, because this guy gave all his life, devoted to help people, and he was betrayed big time. So for me, it was like rage, it was pure rage.
Yeah.
And like him, a lot of people that got abused. Then I hear your story, Mark. Also, I know your story, everything you have shared. Thank you. But for me, it was the same. I mean, Mark was in RTC. What the hell? I mean, it's the highest of the highest. You would expect like the most affinity, reality, communication, perfect, based on data series, finding the why, caring for the people. You're valuable, man. You're a SEER member. You're clearing the planet. You should be treated like the best. And then I see all these stories, and I'm like, I cannot be part of this, man. I can't.
Right.
And I know many people is gonna disagree with me on this. And then you start thinking about LRH. And
Right.
I know LRH did a lot of good stuff. I'm not saying LRH was a devil or did everything wrong. No. But for me, and everybody can disagree with me, but for me, he did also a lot of damage to a lot of people because he was doing the politics, the decisions, the policy letters, the blue over white policy letters, not only the green over white. So it's like he's also accountable. When I read Quentin Hubbard story on the birthface of Messiah and a piece of blue sky, I was in tears. I was in tears all the time because Quentin, for me, I feel he was like such a nice person. Anyway,
he was.
I'm just ranting here. I'm just ranting.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry. Hey, let me ask you something. Did you ever know Sergio or Bernardo Lanz from the Lanz brothers?
Sergio Lanz. He is an amazing person. He is an amazing human being. Sergio Lanz. And his mom is Sarah Lan, OT8, and I was his trainer because she was doing the class 4 internship when I was finishing my grad 5 internship. And I have so many stories about Sarah Lan, the mom of Sergio. She was the nicest person on this planet. And one of these days, when you guys have a time, I'm going to tell you a story. It's a beautiful story. I cry when I remember Sarah. But yes, I knew Sergio.
Yeah, because my mother was very instrumental in opening up Mexico in the 70s. And the Lanz family were very, very supportive of her. They were a wealthy family. They paid for a lot of the events and helping promote and get more people in. And then there was also Ricardo Garcia.
Right.
He's from the north. He's from Monterrey. He's from the north of Mexico. I don't know him, but I do know all the Lanz family, the daughters, the nieces, the everybody. And they are, all of them, super devoted, super willing to help people, trying to help. But at the same time, why they don't see the out points?
Yeah, so they're still very much involved?
As far as I know, yes. Sergio is a long-time supporter, yeah.
Janis, what was the name? Janis and I did our one and only international management event in Mexico City together. I was the RTC spokesperson. She was the international management spokesperson. And was it David Agami? What was his name? David
and Vivian Agami.
David Agami.
Yeah. I've known David for a long time, even well before we did that event.
Yeah, they picked us up. They picked us up and they took us to our hotel, and then we spoke. We spoke in. I'll never forget this, Janis. We spoke in this hotel that had like this birdcage elevator in the middle. This is in Mexico City, and I'd never spoken in front of a group that large in my life. There had to be 1,500 people in there when we spoke. Do you remember that, Janis?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. It's a pretty large community of Scientology.
This is like 1987 or 88. I think it was 1987.
It was 88. It was after I came back from the.
Okay, 88 then. Yeah.
Yes, because you need to understand this. In Mexico City area, you have 20 million people.
Right.
1 out of 5 Mexican people are there. And you have also 5, not 1 or 2, you have 5 organizations, not missions, organizations in Mexico City. So they combine all the public from all the organizations, and they do these massive events, and then Marks arrive, Janis arrive, and it's all the public there. So that's why it's a huge city, a huge community there. So I remember the big events also.
And then the other person, Janis, that we know, that was intimately involved with LATAM in Mexico is Guy White, right? He was the CEO he was the commanding officer of the CLO in LATAM in the mid 80s or whatever.
Mid-80s,
anyway, mid 80s, yeah.
But I was going to say, when my mother was there working on getting Scientology promoted, it couldn't be promoted as a religion because there was only the Catholic religion that was allowed. And I remember she got arrested while down there. She had done an event, or she did many events, and she was told that she was not to go on and do an interview or else she'd be arrested. And she went ahead and did it anyway. She was going, well, they're not going to arrest me. And she went on and did her TV show that she was scheduled to do.
Welcome to Mexico.
She walks off and they arrest her. And Pat Gualtari was with her and couldn't believe it. There she was being taken away, for talking about Scientology on TV. And apparently they put her under house arrest and then sent her back to America. But she kept going back to Mexico and working on promoting Scientology and expanding it.
We're talking about the 70s, right? 70s, beginning of the 80s.
Yes.
Okay,
70s.
everybody.
Yeah, she died in January 78. So this would have been 77, 76, 77.
Okay, got it. Yeah, because in 95, 98, when I was like starting my training, in the 90s, at the end of the 90s, everybody was talking about this big, amazing, beautiful 70s and 80s community of Scientologists. Everybody was talking about this castle. It was like a castle, a big organization. There was like a castle, and it was full, new people coming in all the weeks, because it was like very interesting. But then Miscavige happened. And
yeah, it went down from there.
It all went downhill after that.
Did you ever meet David Miscavige when you were, in Scientology?
Roberto?
Me? I was thinking you were talking about that. No, not me. No. I'm not. That
you were never at one of the events or whatever that you saw?
No, I was not that high, honestly. I was not.
No, it's okay. I mean, I didn't know if you'd met him at like an IAS event or on the Free Winds or something.
No. It's better for him. It's better for him that I didn't meet him.
That you didn't. Yeah.
Crazy times.
I went to Mexico in 73, 74, because my mom was down there with Hubbard doing an event. And so my sister and I flew down there on our leave of absence, and we went to the Sun Pyramid and the Moon Pyramid, and we went and we met everyone. And everyone was so excited and so friendly. It was a great experience.
Yeah. That was the best. I think the best stage part or time of Mexico. Because nowadays it's rough. It's rough. I'm not living in Mexico anymore, but it's rough. Yeah. But that times were beautiful times because it was almost no criminality, and you can see the true way of the Mexican people. You saw them. How
I
is
did.
The people? How are the Mexicans? So that's the true Mexican spirit. Anyway, good old times gone, maybe forever.
Yeah.
Hopefully not. Yeah. It's
Let me ask you another question, Roberto. Because you obviously you had a mission down there for years. What was the entry point for people getting into Scientology? Like what was like a main attraction for them? The average Mexican who got involved. What were they looking for?
I mean, we were talking. We were doing a lot of things. We were all the time just like thinking, what can we do to bring people in and just show them these kind of basics that are like good information for them. So we were doing not the traditional stuff that everybody did, because I remember one day we in the mission we did with wood. We did like a huge book. And we covered it with the layers of the Dianetics book. Uh-huh. And then it was like a 2-meter high book, and you can open it, and inside it was full of Dianetics books. Uh-huh. So we take this huge book to the parks, and then we talk with the people, and they grab the book, they buy the book, but it was like a huge book. And that was our idea, our idea. I mean, that was amazing. And then we went to the center of the city, and we gave like tickets like a ticket for a movie
Yeah.
theater, like a ticket. And the ticket says free entrance, movie evolution of a science, for example, or know your mind, for example. And we just giving free tickets. And then in the afternoon, the people arrive with the ticket and I have a free ticket. I want to see the movie. So they went to the movie and give them. So it was kind of that kind of stuff.
You used the movies that Golden Era Studios had done. Is that what you used to promote Scientology to people, or
no? You remember the How to Use Dianetics cassette, the VHS, the old times, the VHS, like the tapes.
Yeah, the videotape.
Yeah,
the videotape, how to use Dianetics and all this kind of stuff. That was the cassette, TV, play, boom, 15-minute part of the cassette, stop, and then we explain the subject, and then we sign the people for a personality test or for a course or for a book and that kind of stuff.
right.
But it was a mission. So it didn't have like all these movies like in the organizations.
Yeah,
no.
that's right.
Yeah,
We have like very basic stuff there just for promote the basic services that a mission.
What would be like an intro course, introductory course? Like when I did it, I did the communications course. That was the first course I did when I was 16. What did they do? What did you all do down there?
Well, we did a lot of up and downs in lives. That was like a basic. Personal integrity was a champion also. How to handle your finance, because the money in Mexico is an issue.
Yeah.
Everybody's trying to get a life and improve his finance. So how to start a good marriage, all these division 6 kind of services. And then it was the intro Dynetics auditing also. That was a big one because people were like stressed, problems, traumas. Oh, you can have some auditing. Look, and it was cheap. I remember. I mean, we're talking about a mission. We're talking about book 1 auditing. We're not talking about OT levels. So it was cheap. So the people went there, received some auditing, and then you see them in the academy after. And it was good. It was a healthy community. A very good thing is that we didn't have this push statistics, hard, serious influence of the organization and the CEO
management.
They were far, far away. I mean, Mexico City is here. Leon is 5 hours distance. Leon. So we were doing our stuff. We were good. We were doing our stuff. But yes, the money always was an issue because, I mean, living your life, earning money, being a staff member is practically impossible. So it was a struggle. Maybe I think all of us were doing like 2 jobs. I don't want to say the technical word, but we were having an extra job and the job stuff.
Right.
I was going to ask. Yeah, moonlighting. Yeah, I was going to ask. Because Janis, wasn't it back in the old days when the Guardian's office ran the Mission Network? The missions had to pay. Was it 10% or whatever?
Yeah, 10% tithes.
Yeah.
So what was it still the same when you ran your mission, or was it different?
TUSMAI means Scientology Missions International. So we have our income, and then you separate books. Okay, you separate books, and then you have a corrected income, and then from that income, 10% immediately. Thursday, 2 p.m., you go to the bank and you deposit the money to Scientology Mission International. And that was all the weeks. And I went out of the bank having no money to eat, but I did my deposit. Scientology Mission International.
And as long as you made that deposit every week, they left you alone, right?
Jesus Christ, yes. I'm safe.
Oh, that's good.
He's good. I mean, let's laugh. Let's don't cry about it. Let's laugh because it was rough. It was terrible.
So after you obviously audited a lot, and you did the bridge and stuff when you were still in Scientology. So after you left in 2009 or whatever, what did you do? Did you just, I know it was tough and all that, but I mean, eventually, did you start delivering Scientology again outside of the church, or what?
Only to people very, very near to me. And a lot of basic auditing, because for me is the most powerful one. I mean,
Me
I'm a
too.
grad auditor, but all the basics are like super easy going. Super, you have your CAM cycle, you have your training, you have your intention to help, and it's like beautiful. But only those, because if you want to deliver professional auditing, you really need a huge team. Let's be serious here. Let's be serious. You need a correction officer. You need a case supervisor. You need a qualification supervisor to correct you. You need a whole team if you want to do it like really right. And it's not possible if you don't have the whole team. You can do it. You can do it, but it's not the same, because when I was doing my internships and after I finished my internships, it's very smooth when you have all the team there, all the people there, just to deliver like a professional thing. So yes, I did it, but mainly I was devoted to helping people with anything, Scientology or not. That's what I did. Other courses, other subjects, because I was
Right.
like, okay, I'm declared, I'm SP. I don't want them anymore. It's not they don't want me. I don't want them anymore. I don't want to be involved with them anymore. But
Right.
I still have that urge to help people, because that's what I joined in the first place. I didn't have anything to handle. I just wanted to help. So I
Yeah.
carry on with my basic purpose. I carry on helping, delivering courses, delivering conferences to business, to people. And that's what I did. And I start denouncing and signaling all this corruption with David Miscavige, C organization, all this IAS money, the donations for the buildings, all these things, terrible things. And that's why I became a target of all these guys of OSA, because I have never been like hiding behind a mask. No, I
Right.
went public since day one. It's been 16 years now. And it's really rough when you're fighting Scientology church like this. I'm
Yeah.
alone
And of
here.
course,
I'm totally alone. Totally
yeah.
alone.
But at that time, you were probably considered an opinion leader in the Latin American community. You know what I mean? So they
Absolutely.
probably wanted to shut you down. Now you said Marty, Marty Rathbun, you went on his blog or whatever, and got, declared that you were out of Scientology or whatever. Did you ever meet Marty or have any kind of relationship, or did that go away?
We have a lot of conversations. He was telling me all these plans. He was telling me about Mike Grinder and him, everything they were like planning to do. And you remember with Marty, I mean, Marty's a very complicated subject. I'm not gonna go
Yeah,
into it.
that's
I mean,
okay.
it's a crazy subject, but in the good era of Marty, in the good era, he has like all these ideas, independent movement, and all this kind of stuff. And then everything crashed, and it was like terrible. But yeah, we have just communication by phone, because I was in Mexico, he was here in
Right.
Texas, in USA. But yes, we have a lot of communication just by phone, because again, I was not part of in management.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, so you just, with your family, you just got on with your life after you got declared or whatever, right?
Exactly. Because, for example, my daughters and my family, they told me, Roberto, we're gonna stay with you. It doesn't matter what happened. My daughters, they were also from his grandfather side. They were into Scientology influence, so the
Mm-hmm.
grandfather was like trying to keep them away from me, and they told him, no, we're not gonna leave, or that, never. We're never gonna stop the communication with him. He's or that he's good. We know he's good, so we're not taking this. So that was good. And yes, I carry on just
Yeah.
with my life, and that's what I did after all this. But yes, it was 10 years of my life that I devote for something that was not completely true, that was not completely honest. And that's what I feel so much like a bad feeling with Jeff Hawkins and all these people giving the full life, the full extent of his life to Scientology. I mean, if it was true, it worth it, but it's not. So that's the problem. Auditing, basic auditing, all this kind of stuff. is good. I was auditor. I saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then it's all this other part that you say, what should I do?
Hey, Roberto, can you explain to our audience who were never in Scientology what it's like to audit somebody and what kind of response you would get when you were doing it?
Yeah. That's a very good question. And yes, absolutely, I can do it because it's beautiful. A lot of rundowns are beautiful. A lot of actions are beautiful. For example, the happiness rundown. The happiness rundown is one of the most beauty actions you can have. It's easygoing. You are there just communicating with the auditor on subjects that are really down to earth, that are really useful in your daily life, that are going to help you to compare your viewpoints with another person's viewpoints. It has a balance step, separation balance. That means you're going to separate from the viewpoints of another person. Let's not go technical on this. So, and you snap out of the viewpoints of another person, and then you really start to realize how to apply all this common sense stuff into your life, because you talk about a lot of bad experience about it, and you can feel really released. Method 1 of word clearing, that's a method for defining words in a special order. That's what method 1 word clearing means. And when you audit this to a person, you can really see the person like increasing his knowledge, like understanding subjects. What can be wrong about it? What can be wrong about it?
Right.
Because there's a lot of people criticizing all the auditing. All the auditing is bad. Everything is Shinu. Everything is just past lives. No, that's not what auditing is. That's a part of the auditing. But there's another auditing that is like super common sense. And I cannot say, because I was there, I was auditing people, I cannot say, oh, this is bad. No.
Yeah, it's funny how you mentioned word clearing. I mean, to me as a teenager and as a young, and in Sea Org and all that stuff, to me, it actually was very helpful, because before you would ever, do a process when you were auditing somebody, you made sure the person understood each word in the command or in the process before you asked it, and basically, I mean, if they had a misunderstood word, the word clearer would then go through each definition of the word and the derivation of where it came from. And it would give you a concept of this word. And like, I know words that I've cleared years ago that I still understand to this day. And like you said, there's nothing dangerous about it. I mean, it's actually very good,
Exactly. So yeah, that's what auditing is. And when you feel really the need to help to the other person, when you're really interested in the person, when it's natural for you to hear the person, understand, acknowledge, try to guide it, so she or he can arrive to some clarity on his mind, is beautiful when you go through that process. That's what auditing is at the end of the day. It's the magic of the communication cycle. That's it. And that's on the case supervisor series. I'm not inventing anything. That's the magic that makes everything happen. But anyway, as I'm telling you, there's a lot of people criticizing, and most of the people don't know.
I want to go back. I want to go back to when you brought up the happiness rundown and auditing that.
Yeah.
I remember when the book Weighted Happiness came out and the rundown, and I had it. And when it came out, I was like, oh, finally things are going to change. If we all just apply Weighted Happiness, life will be so good for all of us.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And no matter getting the processing, not everyone got that processing and made the change, and life did not improve using that technology. Yeah.
Exactly. So Janis, that's when I ask. If you have such a powerful new tool at the end of the 70s, beginning of the 80s, and you can apply it to all the CR members, why was not done? Who was interested? who was interested in see or carry on being like blind to the happiness?
Well, I know from my own observation, because I was heavily disaffected during that whole time period, because no one's applying way to happiness or basic Scientology, and it was just brutal. And every man was for himself. And I was declared disaffected and put through a whole program. And I was declared an SP. I was offloaded. I was pulled back. I went through a whole thing because of my disagreements of Scientology not being applied in the Sea Org. And it wasn't just the people, the executives. It was coming down from Hubbard all the way down. And so here he is coming out with this brilliant way to happiness to make people happy, but he himself was not then applying it. And he would get tapes of him doing analysis of the different orgs, and he'd be yelling and screaming in these tapes. And so there was no change there, and it continued with the heavy ethics.
Exactly. So that's the thing that I was trying to say half an hour ago. I mean, you have one side, and then you have at the same time the other side. And that's when you say, what's going on? I can't, in my mind, conciliate these two things, the beautiful part and this terrible, terrible part. And then you say, something's wrong. Something's
Janis.
wrong. With all due respect for the people that believe that everything in Scientology is perfect, with all due respect, something is terrible, was and is terribly wrong. But since the beginning, this was pre-Miscavige.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
Janis, were you with? He wrote that 1978, 79, sometime in there. The Way to Happiness, was it 1980?
1980.
Were you around working with Hubbard at that time as a messenger, or was he?
No,
already gone,
he'd already gone into seclusion when he released The Way to Happiness. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, not to justify Hubbard, because he had screws loose and whatever, and he had health problems and all that, but he was on the run in 1980. You know what I mean?
He was on the run.
So he was on the run. You know what I mean? It's like, he comes out with this thing, but he's really under the pressure, like they're coming to get me. And he was paranoid about that stuff. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I'm not trying to justify his actions, but he was under the gun at that point in time, and he eventually died alone because they were after him anyway.
Exactly, and that's the truth. So you have Hubbard in this style of Victor Frankenstein, brilliant mind that has this creature called Scientology, but then he's on the run, and the creation is alone, and he's like just trying to survive, but the creator is not there to guide this creation. So that was a big thing happening there, because he was secluded. Yeah. It was not that, and the worst, and I finish with this, the worst, the trusted people. I'm talking about maybe I was not there, but I'm talking about maybe David Miscavige, Janis, the old timers, all these guys, the old timers, Janis, David Miscavige, all these guys, the trusted ones. You guys need to be in front of that. No, he didn't care, or he was not able. I don't know what happened, but the trusted long timers were not there. The new messengers arrived, and that was the freaking mess.
Yeah, and Janis and I have talked about this. Janis has said before that if Mark Yeager had been left in charge of Scientology and not David Miscavige, it would have been a different scene. Same thing with David Mayo. Same thing with all these people, right?
I'd probably still be there.
I know.
No, Janis, no. Sorry. But let me think. Let me tell you this, and it's honest. I can criticize, and I did a lot of times in these last minutes. But I tell you this: if you or people like you in the 80s were in charge, Scientology today would be very different.
Yeah,
yes,
it would.
I absolutely agree. Yeah,
because Miscavige got rid of anybody connected to Hubbard, he got rid of, you know what I mean, over the years. And then anybody that really just wanted to help people, they were like, oh, you're a namby-pamby, dilettante, and
Soft,
you're
we are
worker-oriented.
Exactly. We are tough
You're
MDFs.
worker-oriented. We
are
don't need
tough
you.
MDFs in the CR. This Davis.
Yeah, we're hard as cold
guy
chrome
said,
steel.
tough.
David Miscavige,
Yeah. But that's the real thing, It's just really sad because easy. When Hubbard died, Janis and all these beautiful people there. I'm not saying only Janis, all these kind of people. You know what I mean? All these old timers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Immediately after Hubbard died, okay, guys, we're gonna take it from here. Disconnection canceled. Mm-hmm. ARC is the key. On CR, we're gonna be doing fine. People want to be pregnant. We're gonna take care of them. They're not gonna be abused.
How about paying a living wage and working a 40-hour week? Work a 40-hour week and pay a living wage, not take everything into reserves.
You have 70, 72 years old. Take it easy. We're gonna take care of you. You're your member. We're gonna take it, because there's money for it. Yeah. There's money for it. And I'm still now upset because all these freaking things, these kind of people like Janis could have changed all this. And Scientology today will have a clean face. Oh, Hubbard did this and that. Yes, but we corrected already. We're not doing that anymore. It would be different. But this guy is a bully and he just went there to that position of COB, just punching everybody. It's sad. It's just sad.
Yeah. Well, and it's actually criminal too, because I'm sorry, go ahead, Janis. Go ahead.
No, I think back to when I was a kid growing up in my parents' Scientology Mission. It was a franchise. I grew up in it. It was in our house. Everyone was always so happy. There was no yelling and everyone was winning in life and enjoying it. And, it was just a great environment to grow up in. Very different.
Exactly. I mean, it would be no base to say Scientology is a cult because a cult has to do with bad influence. If you remove the bad influence, you cannot say Scientology is bad. If you don't have beatings, you cannot say it's bad. If you have fewer staff members, but you make sure to give them at least to have food, to have a proper life, less organizations, less staff, but let's make them have a good life, not a rich life, but just good. Take care of them. There would be no criticism towards Scientology.
Yeah, and what is the definition of a group? It's people. It's not buildings and it's not your bank account. It's the people involved that make a group, not these monstrosity of buildings that are empty. You know what I mean? And that's why they're shrinking, because they don't concentrate on really helping people,
And that's what it was all about, helping people.
Yeah.
That's the point. We agree. That's the point where everybody agrees.
Yeah.
Helping people. Yeah. Everybody agrees. We would have not finished because there's so many things to talk.
Yeah. No, we're gonna do another and have you back for sure, because there's a lot more to talk about. But yeah, we've reached the end of the hour here. But I think it's been informative and I hope entertaining for the people watching. What do you think, Janis?
Yeah, I agree. We got cults to talk about.
Yes, we do.
We have.
Well, anyway, Roberto, we want to thank you for being here. And it's time now for me to plug Janis's complete liquid multivitamins from Outback Natural. You get your complete multivitamin liquid formula. Ditch the pills, drink the power. And this is a great product. You basically, that's, that one bottle is a month's supply of the liquid vitamins. It's peach flavored. You keep it in the refrigerator, shake it up.
Right.
I drink a little shot glass or 2 tablespoons a day. And it's so easy. You don't have to take a whole handful of pills. And it makes it so much easier to take your vitamins. And if you're interested in that, you just go down below in the description of our video. You click on our merchandise store and you can order it there in the United States. Or you can use that QR code that's on this Vites.com, or go to Vites.com, either way, and you can order, right, Janis?
That's correct. Yep, you can go straight to the website. And there's many other vitamins too. That the Vites.com was my dad's website for Peter Gillham's essential vitamins. And we still have his brand, and his vitamins are on there.
That's great.
Right.
Anyway, the other thing that we need to do is please subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Rock slam that like button and hit that notification button so you're made aware when our next videos come out. If you have any questions or comments about what we talked about today with Roberto, or anything you want to know about, please go down below and right away, and we read them all. And Roberto contributes to a lot of the comments over the last couple of years on our videos. So anyway, I'm sure he'd be happy to answer any questions if you want to put them down there as well. And we will have him back soon to do another video. If you'd like to support our channel, you can buy us a coffee. There's also a link in the description down there for that. And if you'd like to become a member of our channel, just click the join button on the channel homepage. Roberto's been a member for a long time, and it's just another way just to support our channel. I mean, we're not getting rich on this. Any money that we get from donations, it's really just covers our expenses. That's really where it's at. So anyway, so if you want to help out, you can do those things. All right, Roberto and Janis, is there anything else you would like to say before we end off?
I'm looking forward to the next
books,
one.
Janis, remind us about your book. You have.
Oh yeah, Janis's book.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Read the title, Commodore's Messenger.
Can you put it like this? Can you put it like this? Because it's really fat. No, like this. Like. That. Look, it's really fat. I mean, it's really something.
Yeah, it's.
But
it's
Janis,
like
that's one part, or that's two parts. This is
book one, and this is book two.
Put it
There's
also
450 pages.
Yeah. That's what I'm trying to.
Yeah, this one's look. Book two is thicker. 450 pages in the first book, and
it has photographs in it too.
560. Yeah, lots of great photos in both the books.
Great.
Yeah, and anybody watching, we've got it tagged right on here where you can order the books. So you just go ahead and order them, and that's also in the United States where we have to ship them because it's too expensive to ship overseas, unfortunately, right, Janis?
And these books cover.
Oh, and you autograph them too.
I do autograph them, yeah. But these books cover from when my parents first got into Scientology before I was born, and it takes you up through the history of Scientology in Australia, Scientology being banned in Victoria, Australia, the family moving to England, the family joining the Sea Org, and it goes all the way to where we then move from the ship to America and sell the ship, and that's where it ends. I've still got to finish off book 3. But yeah, there's lots of adventure stories in there in history.
Yeah.
Great. Amazing.
Thanks, Roberto, for mentioning that.
You're welcome.
All right, everybody. Until next time, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.